Welcome back, everyone. We are some time away, I'm just going to say what I heard, 8 minutes away from the next draft, and we're hoping that we can get to that in that point. As said, because of the immediate remake, we do need to give some time to the team some time to think about their game plan, especially seeing how we're going to get new picks and bans. So we've been joking a bit, I think, during the pause, etc., which is natural, but this really does suck.
Yeah.
You were saying especially for Excel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just sucks for Excel in general, because just imagine their position. They've just waited almost, an hour and a half, 2 hours. They were 3 dragons up, 3k gold lead up. They basically did nothing wrong, and now they have to play the game again, right, with new drafts. So it definitely sucks for them. But yeah, again, that's competition. Happens, these things happen, and you just have to reset and go again. I remember a game, I think it was Giants versus Vitality 2016, where there was an Orianna ball bug and you couldn't see the ball. And Giants had Baron, they had 2 inhibitors, the game was winning, but the game remade, and they lost. And they got put in the relegation tournament that same year because they were 1 win away, which is a game they could have won. So that was an even worse situation, right? But I mean, this one will sting. Going later down the line, maybe it turns into a grudge match now or something.
They wanted to be, the superior in their grudge versus Fnatic as the other UK org.
Yeah, do you remember the SK Fnatic one where SK 2-0'd them with self-made?
Yeah,
that was good as well.
I don't know if we should bring that up. It's going to trigger so many people. But on a more serious note, though, you now have these 2 teams. Obviously, they had the draft. We're going to get it up in a second. The draft of the game that will now be remade with new picks and bans. I don't know where to start here in terms of, obviously, priorities might be the same, but obviously the champions will be different.
Yeah, but I also feel like once again, it cannot be understated that this just sucks, but the only thing you can do now is move on and just okay, you just have to fully mental reset. It sucks, there's nothing you can do about it. You get mad, and that's completely fair, but you have to go into this scenario now knowing that, okay, we had actually 3 prior lanes initially that really gave Markoon a lot of the work that he could do as a jungler here. This definitely favors Vitality due to the fact that they can now swap up some of these situations themselves now. They can avoid going for the Kayle in the early game if they wanted to, because that did get punished a little bit, at least on the CS deficit, because Mikyx was able to roam on the bot. They had 3 men on the top side. They didn't equalize on the dive, but they starved them out of resources. There are a lot of ways here that are suddenly no longer able to do this, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's something they tried to default away with, or they changed up in bans just a little bit, just due to some of the priority in the early game.
There's a lot to talk about. You ask each player, how was your matchup? Did you enjoy it? Was it good? Do you want to play it again? Things like this. Things that stand out is the Kayle into GP. Excel is first picking GP worth it now that they've shown a Kayle counter, right? Do we actually want to play this matchup?
This could be like an upside for
Right,
Excel.
yeah. Do we want to ban Kayle away on blue side now on first pick GP and see what else he's got in his arsenal? The Zeri Bard matchup, how was it for Ezreal getting pushed in and giving them so much prio? Is it really worth it? So there's a lot of things that you have to ask yourself. With the answers you've provided, they blind pick Lissandra. Our answer was Sylas. Was that the best answer? Could we go for something more like a control mage, like a Cassio or something? But I would be surprised if the draft is the same, because I think there's definitely at least one player in these 10 players who says, I didn't like this matchup. So yeah.
But you still get some of the same tendencies sometimes. For example, the fact that now you have bot lane that, with the bard rotation, obviously came in later with the support pick from Mikyx here. You see a ban like Cillian, you see a ban like Renata. All of a sudden, these things that you can suddenly just take away now as well. So I completely agree with you. I just can't see that this is going to go the same way where we're actually getting the same picks again, just due to the fact that, as you said yourself, it's just way easier adapting on the fly. You don't have to take a bad matchup again if you can come up with a pick in these 5 to 10 minutes. We're just overcoming the lane prior or just the matchup in itself.
Yeah, I think the only likelihood is the second phase is similar. I think the second phase could look quite similar to what it does now, but I think the first phase is the one that's most likely to change because of the snowball effect, right? If I take away that Lucian ban and I put a GP ban to stop you from first picking it, now you first pick Lucian, right? So the entire draft is different. Now you've got Nami on 2-3 with maybe a different jungler for early prio towards bots, right? So that's where the whole draft will change. Maybe 4-5 could be similar in terms of bans and picks, but I'm expecting the first phase to change.
Yeah, in a way you could say, and I'm not trying to be all glass half full on this whatsoever. It's bad, right? But in a way you could say, especially for Vitality now, they're not going to go over all the tape right now, but this is an opportunity for the coaching staff to really be like, hey, this and this, and really ask directly, why did you not like that matchup, and why did we do this when we should have done that? It's almost like the timeout we talked about, but different.
It's almost like a warm-up scrim.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you're Excel right now and you get the same kind of stylistic through a different draft where you still the one with the power lane where Markoon is still popping off, they deserve all the praise in the world then, because they were just facing a wall and they overcome it. And
the expectation should be they've done that now with Markoon and with their team a couple of times, right? In this summer split. So that should be the expectation at least.
Yeah, and the other question is, can they do it anyway? If I change the picks and change the draft, so Where is your win condition? Where does it lie? There's so much to talk about in a span of 5 to 8 minutes. It's basically like you're VoD reviewing an entire scrim in 5 minutes and changing your whole draft for another stage game. So you have to be very quick and precise on what you want to change, very like direct. And you need to come to conclusions quick and not go in circles and be like, oh, I didn't like the KL matchup, but if you came top earlier, then maybe I could have played it better. If you protect me from this dive, and then you're going around in circles, and then by the time the 5 minutes is up, you're on stage already. So it'll be very sportsmanlike if they share the same draft. But yeah, again, I think it will change.
We didn't hear anything, so I assume it will not be the same. We are going to show you another video to bridge the gap. Well, tomorrow, tomorrow, Team Vitality will feature in our LG Ultra Gear match of the week. They will face off against G2 Esports and Caps versus Perkz, Part 7.
You guys care too much about those narratives.
Oh, speaking of narrative, I've got a great one. Caps versus Perkz, Part 7. Ooh, he took your team, you'll take his life. Ba, 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 ba.
In a world where we've seen these players go head-to-head, comes the latest installment of these players going head-to-head.
First blood to baby Faker!
Oh, Caps! He just solo killed Perkz!
Shockwave onto 2!
Oh, it's personal! Personal is the perfect word.
Get ready this summer for the rematch of two rivals. Turned friends, then turned rivals again.
I'm coming from a 5th title right now, and they can't even stop me. Like, they have no chance.
I'm gonna smash him so hard that he's gonna think that it's an international tournament.
I have some champs that I'm better than him, right? I do, right?
Yeah. I mean, Soy was pretty good today.
Yeah.
After a short one-year stint in NA, Perkz has returned to his home turf, looking to reclaim his lane kingdom.
There's none of it for Vitality. There's none of it for Perkz.
One man, one mission, and nothing will stop him from getting what he desires most.
I want to beat them, but this split, the goal is to like have strong games in regular season as well. So I will definitely try to take them down.
But in his way stands the man who took his team, his arch nemesis, Caps, now surrounded by new blood and a duck.
The matchup against us is very important for Perkz. Like, I want to beat Perkz before because he was obviously my former teammate and my former rival, now rival again. So let's see if I can't take him down this time.
Watch as Perkz, now with a star-studded lineup, will take his super team to new heights and maybe do better than 5th place this time.
Last split, we finished 4th. Actually 5th. I would say we were like at least better than Misfits, so I will like round it up to 4th in my book.
There's a reason they didn't finish over Misfits, and it comes down to their inconsistency.
The most epic clash of a lifetime that we've already seen time and time again is about to come to an LEC studio near you.
We still have a lot of way to go to be in like our final shape, so to say. But even though we're not at our best, it's going to be more than enough to take down Vitality.
There are no Corkies or Azirs where we're going, we hope. Caps versus Perkz, Part 7, the Perkzing.
You guys know that there's more players than just Caps and Perkz, right?
This Saturday, 9 p.m.
Game 2. Gonna happen in just a couple of minutes' time. Players getting ready on the stage.
And, you know, we want to echo the sentiment that was shown on the desk. This sucks for everyone.
Yes.
From production to casters to analysts to players, the most of all. This obviously sucks. None of us want this. But thank
Not
you
for
very
the
much.
crowd, though.
I mean, the crowd have been having a great time.
Yeah, they get like twice like extra time here.
And we do appreciate the crowd for being so supportive.
There we go.
And also everyone sending really supportive messages online, on social media. We read them all, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. We will be getting into game fairly soon. As mentioned, it will be a complete remake. The players can choose to do the same draft if they want to. That's up to them. But the expectation is new game, new picks, new bans. Everything's fresh. Basically, it is a fresh new game.
As if the first game never happened.
Basically, as if the first game never happened. Now, it's one of those things where I think Excel can tell themselves that they are in a commanding position. They were dominating the early game. I think that they should still be considered the favorites coming into this matchup, and it's just, you know, it's just another game for them to prove that they are the better team. And like, it's obviously going to be super frustrating, but the advantage for these players is they're all very experienced.
Yeah.
You know, they've all. I mean, I can't say for sure if they've all been in a pause situation like this before, but they've all definitely experienced their fair share of pauses. And I expect them to have the mental resilience to persevere, and I expect Vitality to do the same. So the players will be very soon getting ready for draft, getting ready to jump into our second game of the day. Yeah, we should be get to going soon. So once the players are back on stage and ready to go,
We'll get into it.
We'll get into draft.
While we're waiting, let's play another game of Vedi's Lies. Woo! Okay, Vedi, hit us with your lie. Or your truth.
Okay, you want to play?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a lie or truth. Okay. I beat Caedrel in a best-of-3 one-on-one.
See, here's the problem. I know you did, because I made a Twitch account that said Caedrel beat Vedi. Vedi beat Caedrel in a best-of-3 1v1, so I could sub to Caedrel with it, so he'd have to read my name out. So it's true.
But you could have let the audience choose.
No, but it's true. Give us a better one. Come on.
Give us a better. The problem is, I didn't expect to need a third one.
Okay.
So I don't have a third one, Medic. But I can come up with a story.
I can give you one if you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. League related probably is best.
Ideally, that's best. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a friend.
Right.
Who once solo killed Power of Evil. Ask away.
Oh, thank God the players are back on stage. Yeah. So when we think about the draft, one of the first things to think about is, will Zeri be let through again? I'm not going to follow up.
The thing is, the friend isn't you.
Wait, what?
The friend is not you.
You have other friends?
I have other friends. It's strange, I know. See, now you're enticed.
No.
Tantalized by my little morsel of knowledge.
How many words do you know, wizard man?
At least 3, wizard.
You knew the definition of soliloquy earlier. I don't know if I trust you.
I was, unsurprisingly, I was a bit of a drama nerd when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I won the drama award shared with my best friend at the time, FLICKR.
Did you really win it if you shared it?
That's an interesting question. Yes. Joint winners.
Do you know a really weird fact about me is I once won a poem competition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you remember the poem?
No, not even slightly. I know I won it. I remember in my bedroom I have this award. Me winning a poem competition.
Mate, rap is basically poetry on steroids. So. You're a good rapper, you're probably a good poet.
I mean, I wasn't a good rapper. I mean, we're debatable if I'm still a good rapper. But in any case, we're just filling time. We're just waiting for the players. We're just waiting for the ready checks so we can get into game. We promise. We'll get into there as soon as we can.
Nice to see Hyanon on stage. Obviously joined Vitality. This split, I believe, has a long history of being on LEC winning teams. Team that took down RNG. Still remember your call there?
Which one?
That G2 lineup when Perkz jumps in on the LeBlanc. And G2 have ripped RNG apart, or something along those lines.
So you don't remember the call?
Yeah, I remember your call existing.
I think I said G2 have ripped through the heart of RNG.
Yes, you did. See, oh, I was so close, man. There was a consonance between apart and the heart.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Is that assonance?
My favorite one is actually the Caps just solo killed Perkz.
Oh, God, Caps just solo killed Perkz. Yep. My favorite call of all time, because Trevor's involved in it, is... Yeah. We're in Sweden! Because Trevor's just there like, it's a pentakill.
It's the music, which means we don't need to fill anymore. It's time for draft. So without further ado, let's play the music one more time.
So just as a reminder for everyone at home, due to unresolvable issues with the previous game, we were forced to remake the game with completely new picks and bans. Thank you everyone for sticking with us, and let's get into this draft. Excel once again undefeated on the blue side, played 2 games on it so far in summer. Vitality undefeated on the red side. They've had 2 games on that side as well. Volibear banned away to kick us off.
Okay, so Excel right now mimicking what they did in the previous matchup. Kalista going to be taken off the board. If things stick to the way that they were, I believe I remember another jungler being banned. Yeah,
Wukong, Corki, and Lucian.
Yeah.
So that's well somewhere.
Yeah, I do expect Vitality to remove the Lucian once again, given that it is a pretty stock standard red side ban. So I don't really expect the bans to be that much different. I think, oh, that's quite different.
Yeah, because XL first picked that last time.
Yes, they did. Okay, well, we're getting a different draft, that's for sure. XL making the choice to remove this one as an option.
I will say Finn didn't really dominate the matchup against Alphari in the top lane. It was relatively even.
Sure.
So Alphari there showed that he can just scale up against Finn on the Kayle into Gangplank matchup. There's the Ezreal ban by Vitality. Carzzy's not going to get his hands on that. So his team removes it, which does leave Yuumi Zeri and Yuumi Twitch available for Excel.
Okay, so the Yuumi insta-locked for Excel. We've been seeing it blind picked here in Europe a fair amount, and to no surprise, it will be locked in. Of course, the Wukong up and available means that Vitality will grab that one for themselves. We have seen this already once from Haru. And the Senna, this is something I was going to mention, like a lot of scaling, long-range AD carries are up and available right now, Senna being the primary one. You expect the Zeri to come out from the side of Excel. So where will we see the Viego? That makes a lot of sense. Markoon, comfort pick for him, something he's very confident on, and also just something that is very strong in the current meta, can match up well against the Wukong. Vitality now looking around at the draft. They could lock in their support here, or they could save it. They do know what the Yuumi is, but they could also just lock themselves in a strong blind if they want to get themselves something safe. Instead, it will look like it's going to be the Tahm Kench towards the bot side of the map. So no solo lanes locked in, assuming that everything is stock standard meta, which means that Vitality will have to first pick either their top or mid, which will give Excel the ability to counter, and then Vitality will be able to get the final counter pick. The question is, which direction will they do it? What are they going to remove?
The only real flex possible in this draft so far is that Zeri could go towards the mid lane. If we see Vitality pick a mid laner first here, that Excel think, well, Nukeduck can play Zeri into that. We can then see something like the Twitch Yuumi down towards the bottom side, which Excel have already brought out once this summer. Vitality going to get rid of the LeBlanc in the mid lane. Excel could look for some mid lane bans as well. Maybe take away the Silas, maybe take away the Azir if they want to try and hamper Perkz a little bit.
I'm wondering if the LeBlanc ban signifies anything. They will remove the Silas, as you discussed. I'm curious as to now whether or not the Ahri will be removed. Because LeBlanc, if they remove the Sandra now, that to me suggests that Perkz is thinking about an Ahri.
Yeah. Having a think about it.
Of course, Twisted Fate's still up and available as well. Something that has fallen in priority here in Europe, but still, I think, very strong, especially when looking to play towards sides. The Fiora. Maybe an Ornn?
Yeah, could be an Ornn in the top lane. Could still be something like the Kayle if you want to try and scale up. Alphari did have a very good Ornn game last week. And a first pick Ornn here into...
I mean, Fiora does quite well into a lot of top lane matchups, to be fair. It's just a matter of what direction Vitality want to go in.
And what direction XL want to ban away as well. The Ornn so strong just generally on this patch. Swain instead is the ban. So now Ornn a possibility for Vitality. Top lane makes more sense blind, in my opinion, than taking a blind mid laner. Unless they think Finn really has a way to shut down a tank on the top side of the map. But with, I mean, maybe Finn would go for something like a Kayle. Instead, Gwen for Alphari is the lock.
Okay, so they're going for the safe blind in Gwen. And it is just that, very safe. She's had like buffs, nerfs, but right now I think many just believe and expect her to be pretty stock standard. Would love an Akshan pick. I don't expect it though. Gnar is good as a safe blind. I just think it's a little too safe at times. But it seems that they want a little bit more frontline. Can't blame them for it. When you have Yuumi in the bot lane, you do need something. Well, I mean, you could consider Ornn, but when you have Tahm Kench and then you also have the Gwen matchup, it's just Gnar is a slightly safer tank that can do much better in the isolated 1v1 and scale a little, well, not scale better into the game, but offer you more options as a form of engage later on into the game, especially when you round things out with an Ahri. You can see that your frontline reliable engage doesn't really exist. A large part of what you have now is putting Yuumi on someone. It's a little bit more of a pick comp. You have a lot of single target damage on the side of XL. Unless Gnar can, of course, land that big wombo combo Vitality this time around. If they do round things out with an Azir, which they will, scaling, once again, kind of on their side. They have Gwen, Azir, they have Senna. Like, it is a decent amount of AP damage, but their team fighting, range, scaling, overall is just very good. Their engage is a little limited in that you're very reliant on the Wukong, but to be fair, so is XL's. And when you have Senna, Azir, you should have a decent amount of poke and range at your disposal, so Vitality have gotten themselves a slightly stronger draft compared to last game, and Excel, the hardest part for them is if they do want to force a fight, it's going to be difficult for them. They're going to leverage their mobility to try and find picks, try and catch targets out of position, maybe attack side lanes. But in terms of execution, Excel definitely have a much harder to play comp compared to the previous match.
We'll have to see how Nukeduck can get out of that mid lane and roam around the map. It's something he's done so well through Summer so far. And the Azir into the Ahri. The Azir can get some push, can clear out those lanes pretty quickly after he gets a few points into his soldiers. So it can become a little bit trickier for the Ahri to roam around without losing too many turret plates. Perkz has already brought out the Azir once so far in Summer. Hasn't won on it yet, but considering they've only played 3 games, that doesn't really say too much when they've already lost 1 of them. We are going to jump on into the game in just a moment's time. And as much as the Vitality do have strong scaling, I think the range advantage is the big thing that you noted. Excel have scaling. You know, Yuumi Zeri is very, very strong if they can get close to you. But the issue is, how do you get close to an Azir, to a Wukong keeping you at arm's length, to a Senna as well, who's building up the stacks through the game? Senna will struggle a little bit in the bottom lane to build up stacks because you don't have a melee support just to auto-attack on. Things like Nautilus, Tahm, Kench, Leona, very nice for Senna because you can just constantly auto-attack them. You only have 1 target, and that target is a Zeri, who can be a little bit difficult to keep under wraps.
I think the biggest thing is the Ahri Viego combo for Excel. It's a very prominent mid-jungle duo that has a lot of target selection and finding picks primarily is the point I wanted to get to. I think that we need to see Nukeduck unlocked on the map, and I think that we need to see them either trying to attack mid or using that prio mid-jungle to try and attack sides.
Yep.
So keep an eye on that. Obviously, this is something that they found a lot of success with so far this split. But again, thank you very much for bearing with us. We will be jumping into game. We have a fresh new pick and ban. You can see the smiles still on the faces of the players. The spirits still seem to be good. And we're going to be jumping into our second matchup of the day.
We're going to have an even fresher pick and ban, Betty. There was an issue. There was an issue trading champions at the end of that pick ban. They're remaking it right now. We'll be back. We'll be into it as soon as possible. I'll be honest. Who's got the voodoo doll in the crowd, guys? Like, this is the most cursed game of League of Legends I've ever experienced.
Oh my word.
God, you guys can own up. If you put a curse on today to stay here longer, Archeron, was it the music? Was it the song that you played, mate?
I'm trying to think back. I've cast now for 6 years.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think back to like some bad pauses.
I mean, so the big ones are WTF Fnatic pause hack with the Rise.
Yeah, but that one wasn't that long.
But there were a few for the same thing, I think, was the issue, because they kept with Realm Warp, if you right click out of the edge of it, like they did it. So, and then there was IPL 5 is the big one with Bubble Pop. Bubble, 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 pop. Bubble, bubble, pop.
Stop
pop.
it. Most people won't understand that reference. There was a pause, I think it was back in 2016, and I wasn't on the show, but I remember Quickshot, Deficio, and Stress were the casters, and there was such a massive problem that I don't think the games even started, and then the games got delayed to like a Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I remember. Wasn't that like, was that around the Hecarim patch that kind of broke League of Legends?
All I remember is 2016. I remember the casters were Quickshot, Deficio, and Stress, and I remember because it was the day after I'd just done a quarterfinal, and I'm pretty sure it was playoffs. I'm pretty sure, and I feel like H2K was involved, but I can't for the life of me remember the
Someone
specifics.
out there in the wide world will remember it.
But I remember that pause being really bad, and I'm not even sure if we had a game. I just think there was like 5 hours of broadcast, and there just wasn't a game. It was, yeah, that was a bad one. But I wasn't even on that show.
They do stick in your mind from time to time, though.
Yeah. But these things happen.
They do.
We're playing a computer game in football. That ball never bugs out.
In football, well, I mean, you could get punctured or something, I guess, but you rarely see
give
that.
him another one.
Yeah, all you see is VAR checks in football. It's like, oh, VAR. He's 1 millimeter. His shoulder is 3 millimeters further forward than it should be.
Really?
Disallowed goal.
Really?
Yeah, it's video assisted referee is a huge thing. It's got a lot better over the years, but yeah, it was a big thing when it was first.
It's the replay there of kick a chat pin.
Obviously difficult on the players as well.
Actually, I remember because I remember rugby is what I'm more familiar with.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And scrim, the
scrums.
The scrums and how like contested they can be, you know, and the zoom in, like, do we have a camera angle? Of course we have a camera angle. And you get like to camera angle 17, where you're in this like most obscure shot. And you're like, yeah, I saw the ball touch the ground. Yeah,
man, like the scrums are some of the worst things because like you have 2 huge sets of dudes like butting heads basically, and I was a second row, so I was involved in the scrum. 90% of the time, I can't tell you what's going on.
We're gonna start the game now.
Are we gonna start the game?
Let's start the game.
Let's start the game! Do you ever get this feeling of deja vu, Vedius?
No, I don't. All right, we're in the game. No more shenanigans, no more fill. We're just going to talk about League of Legends now. Thank you again for everyone bearing with us. Thank you for the crowd for keeping your energy up. You've been an absolute star today. We still have a lot of games left to go today. As a reminder, this is game 2.
Yeah, 4 more, including this one.
You can see that Vitality and Excel scored in the current standings. Tied in the current standings with a score of 2-1. I've been talking for a while today already.
Let's check the XP.
Let's.
Oh, everyone's equal.
What else can we check, Medic?
We can check the gold. Oh!
What else can we check, Medic?
We can check the goal difference for the entire game. It's just a line. I'm sorry. Okay. Ica, I'm really sorry. It's just like, it's such a cool package. I just wanted to use some of it.
Maybe show the one that's actually relevant at this point in time.
Oh, the runes.
There we go. Let's have a look at the runes. We can see First Strike being picked up by Perkz. Yeah. We can also see Electrocute being run on Nukeduck, Ahri on Mikyx. I don't really like to talk about the yellow page because you see so much of it. But you can see a lot of Conqueror. You can bring it down now if you want, Medic.
Mikyx also running Gathering Storm on the Yuumi there.
Yeah. Based Gathering Storm Enjoyer.
Just expects the game to go on a bit,
You know
I
you're
guess.
scaling when you're picking Gathering Storm.
That's the question. If you pick Gathering Storm in the first iteration of this game, should carry over to the second iteration? As Finn and Alphari trade a little bit in the top lane. Finn with the range advantage early on, kind of expected to win out, especially when he's in that mini form. Markoon will be spotted on a ward here as he works his way through his jungle, and both the junglers going for a bot to top path. Haru actually one camp ahead, kind of, because he's done an extra camp on his bottom side, whereas the Krugs haven't been done by Markoon. So yeah, slight, tiny advantage for Haru, but Markoon's going to get the scrum.
All right,
and then
so
have Smite up for the blue.
The important thing to recognize is push, push, and then push. So XL have 2 pushing lanes, largely through the sides, whereas Vitality have that 1 pushing lane in mid. This is expected against Ahri. Her wave clear in the other game really kind of sucks. But it should get better as the game progresses and she puts more points in queue. However, the poke will continue to be quite relentless from this Azir because that range is something that you can't really get around until you have your ultimate and can actually threaten all in. In terms of farm though, Nukeduck doing a good job. Patrik needs to be careful.
This will voyage forward.
Nice.
Patrik can just dodge away from this. Zumi's going to give him some movement speed as well. Mikyx, heal onto him. Mikyx too far away from Patrik really to jump in, but should be fine. Heal used. That means there's actually only one offensive summoner for Mikyx and Patrik in this bottom lane. Heal plus cleanse as their defensive ones, and then that exhaust if they do get into a fight.
Yeah, it's actually hyper defensive from this bot lane from XL, isn't it? As you already said, the heal was expended, but the exhaust as well for later on will be really valuable, in particular against Haru as he tries to dive onto the backline. The primary crowd control is going to be coming out from Vitality. We talked a lot about how in this game, there's not really a lot of AoE damage. It's more single target damage across the board. There are a few exceptions with like the Mega Gnar ultimate and Perkz. His soldiers can of course hit multiple people. His Shroomer Shuffle can also do big damage. Even though in a really good position here, not going to overcommit. Should have information on where the jungler is now. And this is where Alphari has to pay respect because they don't exactly know where Markoon is, which means that there is a real risk of him getting ganked. His wave is in a bit of an awkward spot, but he does have the TP to fix it. That ward from Nukeduck will also spot out Haru. We continue with us relatively slow and patient early game.
I will say Markoon's decided on a relatively interesting path here. Skipped his Krug's first rotation, went up to topside scuttle, secured that, then didn't reset, got botside scuttle, and still hasn't reset after taking his Krugs for the first time and now taking his Razorbeaks for the second time. So because
Markoon,
of that,
right?
Yeah, Markoon. Did I say?
Yeah, I think you said Haru.
Oh, okay. I meant Markoon. My mistake. But you can see he actually hasn't reset at all at the 4-minute mark. Haru's gone back, got himself double longsword, but he's a scuttle crab and a camp behind because Markoon has yet to go back to base and spend his money.
For some reason, all I can think of in my head is Caedrel saying, Giga Chad full clear enjoyer, who needs items when you can just farm creeps in the jungle?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing you can think of.
That Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see what he spends when he goes back. Can you check how much total gold he's sitting on? Yes, you can. Yeah. 2,000 gold. He can spend...
Wait. Because the HUD's a bit confusing.
Oh, you're right. It's 1,400 gold.
Yeah. So the brackets is the amount of gold they're sitting on. Not in the brackets is their total gold.
Yes. No, that's fine. So he's going to pick up Sheen, double longsword. Wow, and a control ward. He's just chilling, isn't he?
Yeah, it's in a really good position.
Good back.
Has already done his clear. Now working his way down towards the bottom side. Second scuttle of spawn of the game will be down towards that bot lane. And although Excel have predominantly focused down towards this bottom side, we did see them get some more heralds the first time these two teams met today. Markoon looking to continue the 100% first Drake record for Excel, whereas Vitality tend to focus a little bit more up towards that top side. No herald for 2 minutes though, so they have a bit of time.
I will say that goal difference at 14, it's very impressive for Vitality, but it is a little deceptive for Excel because their early game against G2 very much hurt their early game performance. But typically, Excel have actually been very dominant in the early game. We even saw that in the first time that these two teams played, in terms of their ability to actually build early leads and leverage their early strength. So I really do think that Excel is a very strong early game team. And I don't expect a dive here. I'd be very surprised if that happened.
It's not going to happen. Perkz, they're looking for the Shurima slide. Shuffles Nukeduck back. Nukeduck still has all his Spirit Rush charges here, trying to hold on to them. The Charm coming out as well. Nukeduck actually can just walk away from this one. Yeah. Coming in as well, but Nukeduck, good job there, holding on to his ultimate.
Well, so the big thing is that both invested their TP, and Nukeduck now doesn't have it back. True. And Perkz should be able to insta-shove this. You can also see that he's out of corrupting flasks now, or rather charges of his flask, which means that Perkz, the idea of the trade was likely not to get a kill. It was to force an ultimate out, maybe a summoner spell, just anything, and also get like a big trade in his advantage. He can now look to base if he wants to, or he can look to roam. It looks like he's going to use his time to get a bit of information, drop that ward down, and he's just going to reset back into the lane.
And even without much attention from his jungler, Perkz actually having a very good laning start to the season, at least. You can see 27 CS up at 40 minutes.
On average.
On average. And like, it's only 3 games, so it's a very small sample size, but that is not one game where he was 80 CS up and 2 games where he was 10. He's averaging like 33, 24, around that area. So it's a strong lead for him regularly, alongside that gold lead at 14, and with very low jungle proximity. 10th in the league out of our mid lane. There's Ghost used by Alphari up towards the top side. He looks to chase down Finn, who will flash. The Needlework's still going to connect. Markoon on his way up, though. Stun comes out. They're going to try and turn this one around. Alphari dodging in, dodging out. Haru coming in as well with the Cyclone 1-for-1 so far. Nukeduck coming in from the side as well. Does it have that ultimate? Remember, Perkz does not have his. And now Haru, the smite won't save you now. It's a double for Markoon.
A big overcommitment there from Alphari means that Markoon and Nukeduck are able to turn around and fight. And it was so good of Nukeduck to hold onto that ultimate in the event of a skirmish like this. Perkz getting consistent prio meant that had Nukeduck not had his ultimate, that fight would have been a lot harder. But Excel come out on top, they find 2 kills, and they will secure themselves their first Herald of the game.
And they bring Patrik and Mikyx up towards the top side as well to push this lane in, gives them just more time to farm up. Makes it very difficult as well for Alphari to answer. No TP for him means he can't just TP down towards the bottom side. Actually looks like Carzzy and Alphari will team up for a little while here as Carzzy works his way up towards the top lane. Fans in the audience seem to be Excel favored at the moment. Although I will say, ever since Boaster became, a Valorant pro, I have missed the Excel esports fa la 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 la. Excel esports fa la la la. And Haru and Carzzy look for something here. No flash, no ultimate on Wukong. It's back.
That's your fault, and you did that on purpose.
Like putty in my hands, man. I mold them to what I want to hear.
Let's have a look back at this. So Alphari has a full wave, and he says, I can kill Finn. Which he can. That's true, but he didn't have information on where the enemy jungler was. And now, when he realizes where the enemy jungler is, I guess from his perspective, also, Perkz has push in mid, and his jungler saying, I can be there, I'm on my way. But yeah, the crucial part that they were missing was the fact that the jungler from Excel was unaccounted for, and he ends up showing up and being like, surprise, I'm 2-0 now, and I have a Divine Sunderer.
Perkz has to dash away in the mid lane.
So this is what I expect to keep happening. Now that Nukeduck has gotten his Lost Chapter, he has way more mana, he has more points in his queue. Once he gets level 9, he'll have 5 points in it, which gives him way more effective wave clear. And now what you do as Markoon is, every time you have the opportunity to, you walk mid, help get the push, and then they both move into Fog of War. Yep. And this will keep happening so that they can maintain that control, because if you leave it isolated, sure, Perkz can actually be annoying, be a nuisance. That mid wave is contested a lot more, but Markoon is doing the right thing. And look, he's kind of hovering around mid again. He's just constantly applying that presence, constantly putting pressure down onto the mid lane to make it easier for Nukeduck to play, and then look for opportunities to roam.
That's a fun little interaction in the top lane that I can't remember having seen. Zeri jumping over the wall, starts her channel of her recall as she starts the jump, and it channels during the time she's traveling, I think.
I didn't notice that.
I believe that's what I saw, because the recall looked very quick out of Patrik up towards that top side. I think I saw the bar already halfway down by the time he landed. A little Zeri interaction I hadn't really thought about, but makes sense if you can channel during the jump. The charm comes down in the mid lane.
Must be very specific if that is the case.
Yeah.
So obviously if you do anything after your B, it's going to interrupt it, right?
I will also say, I may have misread the situation. I've been here for an hour and a half casting the same game of League of Legends, right? But do tweet at me if that's how it works. I'd love to know as Perkz tries to deal with the fact that Markoon is beefy and has a cat on his shoulders. Watch out for the claws, Markoon, but right now it's only pats of helping hands, helping paws from Mikyx as the Rift Tower does charge. Now, we actually saw Excel do this in the last game as well. Not taking the mid lane tower with the Rift Tower charge, but just getting it low, getting themselves some gold. That gold will definitely help out Markoon as he pushes down towards his bot side dragon.
The reason why I like that is because sieging against an Azir can be very difficult. He has a lot of wave clear, his ultimate can be very obnoxious. So using the Herald mid just makes that tower easier to take later on into the game when you have an opportunity to. And it's not necessarily about making sure that Nukeduck gets all of this gold, like that helps, but I think it makes a lot more sense in terms of giving you a lot more control of the lane, and then you're kind of setting up for a future play.
Finn's going to hit stop there. Alphari trying to trade into him. Is a level down right now, but already has that leeching layer, can just stop Finn from getting back to base, which is all he really intended to do there. For anyone wondering, Carzzy's at about 48 stacks, almost at 3 ticks off that passive. You get one every 20 absolution stacks. For the moment, he'll just keep trying to farm himself up. Obviously not farming, as in taking CS on the center, but the more stacks you can get, even roaming through your jungle with your jungler just to get extras of them, can get you into a stronger position as the game goes on.
So I haven't been keeping track of this super closely. I've kind of caught the tail end of it. But the wave management from Excel is very good. So the first example of it was when Patrik roamed up towards the topside Herald, and then with the wave stacking, he actually pushed it out, which you commented on, and then Finn went and caught the bot wave. But he just caught bot as Finn was resetting, who then TP'd top to catch that wave. And I missed the window with which Patrik actually moved to catch that wave. And look, he's moving top again now. They're constantly trying to mismatch so that Finn doesn't seem to be playing against Alphari, which in terms of the 1v1, that does make sense. But also Patrik is more than capable of just kind of playing in isolation. For those that don't know, and we talked about it earlier, Zeri has been seen in mid as an AP poke champ. But I think the champion is just in general quite safe, that you can allow her to just kind of sit in a lane like this, and then look what Mikyx does. Doesn't matter the champion, he's going to look for a roam. And now he gets on top of Markoon, and he helps him clear out vision and look for opportunities. So I'm really impressed with right now how they're keeping the farm up and kind of look across the board. Everyone is dead even in farm, even the jungle. It's kind of ridiculous. Very efficient, very clever pathing here.
It might be caught out a little bit. Gnar's back with Carzzy and Labrov, though, flashes away. Abyssal Voyage just short. Been smart there to make sure that he burnt that flash before the Abyssal Voyage could come in.
Of course, he will lose the flash, as you already said. Perkz.
Good charm from Nukeduck. Everfrost a possibility as well. Doesn't quite land the root. And obviously, Nukeduck not knowing where Haru was, knowing that his jungler was on the top side, didn't want to over-invest into that. And Alphari's kind of on his lonesome here. TP not available either. There's the stun. Alphari nowhere to go. Living battery enough. Alphari taking out Patrik on the ball.
Very clean dive from Excel. Very little that Alphari could do. He didn't have his, he didn't have flash, which made it even harder to be able to escape that dive. As you already said, jungler not on the top side. Perkz needed to reset. That will be first tower of the game going for Excel. So once again, demonstrating a really good early game. Their wave management has been really good. They've been able to find a bunch of early kills. A lot of credit needs to be given to Markoon. And kind of, I mean, it's a really big... Oh, nice. Very nice. Not going to get much damage off the back of it, but it was cool. I will give him that.
And you can see Nukeduck and XO out to a very strong early lead. Gnar back here. Good devour will keep Carzzy alive, but last game, last time we saw them meet, it was about 1,200, 1,400 gold lead for XL around this portion of the game. Here, about 3,000 gold ahead now. And although they did falter between the 14 and the 16 minute mark, XL here looking a little bit more coordinated.
So Patrik arriving again.
Oh, look for Carzzy here, no devour. Remember the chase is on, final chapter coming out. Patrik still on the chase, one more order would be enough, can't quite land it. The dodges to the side means that Patrik now has to deal with Haru as well. Patrik jumps across the wall. Where's Mikyx end up? On the other side, the Abyssal Void's trying to chase him down. The zoomies might
no
be
mana
enough.
On Haru.
Yeah, but Labrov has a tongue, and that cat needs a cleaning as Haru will flash for it.
Yeah, he was out of mana. He had to flash for it. So a bit of over-aggression there from the XL bot lane. They recognized that they could go for an all-in here, which they definitely could, but unfortunately, this flash from Carzzy is basically what saves or makes the play much harder, because you can see, like, not only does he flash out of the way of the damage, the root from the Yuumi, but then also, as Raddy said, he sidesteps the damage. Reminder that Patrick's Q is a skill shot, so it can't be missed. And they end up killing Mikyx because there's no one for him to jump onto.
Poor Cap. Not really much you can do in this sort of situation. Survives for as long as he can, and he does get a long cooldown out of Haru. Haru having to flash, and as you said, no mana on the Wukong made it a bit more tricky for him to close that gap. Didn't have red buff either. XL now, though, 4 members strong down towards this bottom side. We'll put the Rift Tower down. Markoon has a cat on his shoulders once again, coming along for the ride, as this would be the 3rd dragon of the game for XL if they can secure it. You can see Finn in the mid lane just trying to catch that wave. Carzzy, no flash on him. Perkz does have the flash slide possibility, though. Alphari still pushing in the top lane. No TP, so Vitality kind of just giving this one up. We will be on Infernal Soul point for XL. 2,000 gold ahead now. Perkz slowed. Everfrost just wide. Nukeduck dashing forward. There's the Charm as well. The final chapter coming out. Perkz will flash. Labrov and Carzzy trying to fight from the bottom side, but the Spectral Maul will land the stun onto the Tahm Kench. Rift Herald going to charge in the bottom side. Finn still pushing in the mid. Carzzy, no flash, devoured over the wall. The Charm, though, once again lands, but the Tahm Kench isn't really the target you want for that, though. XL will get 2 towers and a dragon out of this sequence of events, and then TP away, but Haru doesn't want them to get away. There's the stun. Markoon able to escape with the zoomies. Vitality trying to collapse now as they know that Nukeduck is not here, but who closes the gap for Vitality? And the gap continues to extend for XL.
Okay, that was Efficiency City for XL. That was very well played as Labrov now engages.
Mikyx jumps off, jumps back. Patrick's able to escape for the moment. Alphari does have the ghost, and Patrik shut down. Dawning Shadow alongside Labrov will take the kill. Markoon's now going to try and escape as Vitality still look to collapse. Haru, no Cyclone for him. Markoon trying to turn it around, but he knows it's in the 2v4, right? Finn coming in with the Mega Narvas. Nukeduck continues to push in the top lane. TP coming in. XL can win it, as you say. Heartbreaker over the wall by Markoon as he looks to escape. Finn goes into Mega. Nukeduck continues to harass the top lane tower down to half. Can Markoon escape? Perkz has the shuffle, has the slide, puts Mikyx back, and now Mikyx can't jump back in. Markoon, nowhere for him to go, no Heartbreaker for him either. Tries to trade. No one before the flash away. Tower falls towards the top side of the map, and now Labrov has a good flank position. Abyssal Voyage forward. Markoon with a fancy feet. He can't dodge the lash of Labrov's tongue. In the end, 3 kills go over to Vitality for their top tier 2.
But 3 towers fell in that whole exchange for XL. What Vitality got a bunch of kills, and yes, there is value in that. To backtrack, XL got a bot tier 1 into a Drake, into the mid tier 1, into the top tier 2.
Yep.
Like, the amount of gold that they got off the back of that was pretty significant. Can we bring up the gold graph once again?
Yes, we can!
So you can see that, like, it wasn't dramatic. It was kind of like going up and down a bit because it was objective going for kills, kind of objective going for kills. But the amount of map control that XL have just gained off the back of that play was massive. And the reason why I kind of wanted to start that point with talking about Efficiency City is because XL, not only were they in a great timer for the Drake, but they used Herald bot. They then had Finn forget top, go mid, contest the wave in order to then contest bot side jungle to escort the Herald all the way to the bot tier 2. They then led it into that, which then helped them secure the mid tier 1. And then they TP top, knowing that they had a wave bouncing back because Alphari TP'd back in to then actually secure another tower in the top lane. Like,
and they got so point.
Everything about that was really good. And I'm already giving ideas for like a Talos thread tomorrow because like the execution of that was just really well played. And again, like sure, Vitality got a bunch of kills and like there is value in that. And they may have even gotten a couple of shutdowns off the back of it. Like you kind of look across the gold and you can see Nukeduck's in a pretty solid, Perkz is in a pretty solid position, but jungle is a little bit behind, Alphari is a little bit behind, bot lane, I mean it's a little bit skewed because it's Senna, Tahm Kench obviously. So
and there's an 800 gold difference between the Tahm Kench and the Zeri.
Yeah. So like overall, I think you can argue that like XL, because of the whole Senna continuing to scale thing, 80 stacks, like there's a debate to be made where the gold is actually a lot closer than perhaps it currently suggests. But XL have way more control of the map. They have the 3 Drakes, and basically Vitality need to fight on the next Drake. The question is, did they feel strong enough that they can actually come out on top?
And they didn't feel strong enough in that last one. Void Staff now completed for Perkz alongside that Leandri's Anguish. Force of Nature is the reason With that extra penetration early, you can see so much magic resist actually coming out on the side of Excel. Finn and Markoon stacking it up, double Fon. And the rest of them pretty squishy, but we'll see how Carzzy is able to deal with him through this next fight. A minute on the Infernal Drake. Where are we in terms of vision? Well, currently that bot side is controlled mostly by Vitality. One deep ward towards the red. Excel now going to step forward and try and get vision of their own. First sweeper used by Markoon. Surprised that Mikyx sitting on Patrik right now. Could jump over to Markoon. That ward deep, though, not spotted out. Patrik looking to go in here. Carzzy does have the flash, has the Devourer as well. The final chapter coming out. They're trying to find a pick before Perkz can join it, but the final chapter isn't enough. Haru onto the back line with the Cyclone. Exhausted. Alphari trying to get in as well with the needlework. Markoon going back with a Heartbreaker. Perkz, you can slide, you can dive into the back line. Haru going for it. No Mega Gnar available. Labrov down first. Second up is Finn. Haru caught out once again, and Perkz sliding away instead of sliding in. Vitality now on the retreat as Markoon continues his advance. Nukeduck diving over the wall. Alphari next to fall. And Excel, the charms keep landing, and the fights keep winning for Excel.
An ace for Excel. They only lose one member, and it was a disjointed fight for Vitality. You can see the damage difference. It felt like Vitality never really had an opportunity to get involved. This will be the soul for Excel, and this is Excel's game to lose.
Excel so commanding in that fight. I thought when they hadn't got the initial kill and Perkz was coming in, things could turn in a second, but Excel now with the Infernal Soul off the back of this fight, they were so decisive just to make this call.
So I wonder if they actually saw Perkz anywhere near the top side of the map, because they clearly know they have a numbers advantage here. Finn joins the fight first, a good engage from Haru. Alphari tries to follow it up, but you can see how while Alphari goes in, the rest of the team is going out. Labrov then uses his W in, completely isolates himself, and while they do get that backup kill onto Finn, the fact that they gave that reset onto Markoon, and the fact that Haru is separated from the team is what allowed the rest of Excel to chase Vitality down. And Perkz never had an opportunity to do anything in the fight.
Markoon getting the resets onto his ultimate as well by possessing his opposition. Now Excel setting up towards this topside Baron on the cards for them. 23 minutes in. A fast game so far from Excel. That dragon stacking has been absolutely on point. And now with a 5,000 gold lead, Excel very much in the driver's seat. Of course, the Emperor's Disc will delay them for a moment, but they are looking very strong in their start to the season. Their strong start to summer continues. And you have to give credit to Markoon for that. His early game jungling, his ability to read his opposition has been absolutely on point. It's been very difficult for Vitality and for Haru in particular to find picks, to find plays. Markoon going in once again, stun onto Labrov. Haru trying to trade back onto him, but the Moonstone on that Yuumi is going to make it very difficult to ever get an advantageous trade, even with the last embrace. Markoon, look at that. That's a bit of healing right there. 350 from the Zoomies, plus an extra 94 from the Moonstone. You like those trades. If you're Markoon, Finn looking for the Mega Gnar, just short of the wallop. You hit that wallop, you flash Mega Gnar into the wall, and Perkz can't really do anything about it. Labrov coming in as well. Abyss of Voyage a possibility. Carzzy on his way. Haru closing in from the side. There's the wallop. Flash. No! Flashes away instead as Labrov comes in with the Abyss of Voyage. Tongue Lash going to hit as well. Nukeduck with the charm once again stops Haru from advancing. Excel pushing in the mid lane while all of this is happening. 4 members of Vitality trying to answer in the bottom side. Excel with 3 in the mid. Only Alphari here to defend. Labrov on his way across. Abyss of Voyage once again. An option for him, but Excel will not give them the chance to engage. And while this happens, while Vitality are pulled up towards the mid lane, who stays spot? It's Nukeduck who has the TP if he needs to join a fight.
Yeah, I think that Excel are just playing the map so well right now. They're not getting baited into Vitality just grouping up and trying to force something. Instead, they're just
going in. That's going to be a lot of damage from the lightning crash. Patrik building up the stacks. Final chapter coming out as Patrik looks for the damage. Haru trying to turn it back around with the Cyclone, the Dawn of Shadow. Patrik's dead. Excel overextended. You can play the map well, but if you overstep 1 inch, Vitality will pounce. 2 quick kills to them, 3 make it, as now they turn their eyes towards the Baron.
It was a much-needed fight for Vitality as they're able to shut down 3 members of Excel and crucially get that kill onto Patrik. Now, only 2 members alive as Vitality look to bounce back in this game.
Finn only halfway towards Mega as well. Nukeduck though with a charm. Hits onto Haru. There's so much damage. Nukeduck needs to get away with the Spear Rush. Mega Gnar going in. Finn looking for it. The Gnar against the wall could be big. Haru, 3-man stun, but you just can't get the damage onto the Monkey King. Wukong able to survive. Nukeduck Spirit Rush, 1 left. There's Honeyproof for him as well, but I think Vitality have stymied him, have staved him off. The Baron secured now for Vitality.
Wow, the ultimate looked so good for Finn, but he didn't quite have the damage to kill the members that he was able to hit that Mega Gnar ultimate onto. Nukeduck was too low health to offer assistance. And now Vitality find themselves back in this game. This is a massive gold swing back in their favor. And let's have a look back at how this starts. So Markoon, he feels strong. He's looking for a bit of a pick. And then they sit there and say, you know what, we can commit to this exchange. They commit heavily onto the Tahm Kench, who tanks up all of this damage. And then this ultimate from Carzzy, followed up by the second ultimate from Haru, was able to just blow up Patrik. Then Perkz joins the fray. Alphari TP's in, but Alphari's not really necessary here, as the 3-man from Vitality basically just, they tanked it. They face-tanked the damage from Excel, and they were able to come out on top. Great play from Vitality. The gold is now dead even, but a Baron sits in the back pockets of Vitality.
You see the swing for Vitality. It was a 4,000 gold lead for Excel. Now basically even, as you say, Vedi. Vitality very much back into this game. The stacks on Senna just keep on stacking. And it becomes harder and harder for Excel to find it. 112 right now. Needs 8 more for that next breakpoint. And a lot of standing gold on the map as well for Vitality. They've only taken one tower so far this game. And we'll say, Betty, you're going to make me wait an hour for a game on the regular. Make them games like this. This one's been a good one. Deserve the time that we waited for it.
There was still an objective on that tower. Objective bounty, rather. Which means that Vitality now have the gold lead. They're continuing their siege as Finn pushes in the bot wave, gets himself another tower.
Looking for a tier 2 for tier 2 trade here. The Infernal Soul actually helping out Excel quite a lot with the wave clear. Gives you that extra AoE. Nukeduck looking for a flank position. Carzzy trying to get away. Finn going for the tier 3. The inhibitor tower, his target right now, as Perkz is going to back away. Baron empowered Viego will mean he can get back here pretty quickly. But 50 seconds on the Elder. This gives Excel time to set up. Look at where their vision is, Vedi. Look at those deep control wards from Excel in the blue side jungle of Vitality. Thank you, observers. I'm sorry, I didn't give you as much clarity over the initial portion there as I could have done. Could have directed you there earlier. That control ward helping Excel. Markoon now stepping in. We're looking for some more, and Vitality really don't have the vision. The Baron falls off in 40 seconds. That Sunder's going to help them for the moment, but 24 seconds on the Elder. It could all come down to this. Patrik is not there right now, Vedi.
So, first in the objective. We've seen Elder flips already this split. Let's see if it's another one. Vitality now contesting the mid wave. They have the Baron to help them get the push. Excel are going to be forced to catch this. It's Vitality with access to the river. There are a lot of flank wards available, but only Finn has the TP. Is he going to choose to invest it? For now, Vitality do not see where Excel are, but they can make an educated guess. Now they'll get information. Now the Elder Dragon dance begins.
Nukeduck clears out this ward with the control ward. Excel, no wave for them in the bottom side. That's actually pushing against them, so Vitality willing just to wait this one out. The wave's in their favor for the moment. I think top's going to push towards Vitality. But you can see Finn trying to go down there and answer, as you say. Could go in for the Spirit Rush. Perkz does not have flash. Will be up about 20 seconds time. A moment of reprieve as Vitality set up around the Baron. Labrov looking for it! The slide back, Mikyx dodges! But that does separate them for the team for the moment. Vitality might look just to rush down the Baron while they, the Elder Dragon while they can. Patrik going in here though. Nukeduck trying to get forward, prowling projectile out. Patrik putting some damage down. Finn building up towards the Mega Gnar. Alphari at half. Nukeduck goes in. There's the charm. There's the Everfrost. Stop watching with Perkz. Tries to save himself a little bit of time. Tries to save his team. A chance in this fight. The Cyclone from Haru onto the backline. Lightning crash coming out from Patrik, but Haru's already killed off Patrik. And now Vitality can pounce. Vitality can turn. And Excel have to call the alarm to retreat. A good charm once again by Nukeduck, but they don't have the consistent damage to work their way through Vitality.
Wow, so Patrik gets isolated, and typically when he's playing on the Zeri, he'll run for the shield bow. Deciding to go for the Kraken Slayer and having more damage means that he's way more susceptible to getting killed by Haru, and he's able to find that kill. Flash in from Nukeduck, isn't able to find Perkz. Finn now rejoins the fray.
Finn has no Mega, and his bar is only halfway full. Markoon looking to get in. The Abyssal Void used by Labrov to keep him at bay. Finn trying to build this up, but the Leandries is ticking on him. Nukeduck no Spirit Rush for another 4 seconds. It's about to be off cooldown. Can he find a way in? Carzzy with the long range. Labrov the first target, but the Elder's going low. Nukeduck dives in. It's secured. But can Vitality even win the fight? They get one, but 2 of them have already fallen. Finn with a great Gnar away. Mikyx trying to kite this one back because Nukeduck's going to try and do the same. Patrik is back up. Vitality get the Elder Dragon, but can they find more out of it? Because if they can't kill off Excel right now, Excel continue to hold on to hope. TP out. He's gone. The Abyssal Voyage won't be there in time. Good TP by Nukeduck.
Wow, a close fight, but it will be Vitality that walk away the victors. 2 members die, but the Baron is spawning again soon. Wow, intense game. It was... You have to remember that we talk about scaling. The scaling's only going to continue to get better for Vitality here. Their range is good. Their damage is good. Like, Excel losing that 1-5, but let's have a look back here. The fight is kind of on two fronts. Nukeduck commits on to Perkz, gets a lot of good damage, but then the rest of Vitality immediately turn. They don't care about the flank. And then Patrik gets isolated. Really great play here from Haru to isolate Patrik and find that solo kill. Because with that AD carry damage gone, Excel are forced to retreat. Finn does a good job of buying time. He's then able to TP back in. But then this is where things get really tense. Labrov is basically just on stall duty. He's going to jump over the back of the wall to keep Markoon out of the fight. Finn is getting down what damage he can, but Alphari is providing peel for Perkz. And then the Elder Dragon is just being melted. Nukeduck very limited in what he can do in terms of getting in the pit. And Vitality very wisely all commit. Burst, 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 burst. They burn it down. Markoon flashes into the pit, isn't able to get to the secure. Excel finds one angle into the fight. Finn immediately disengages and they say, look, we gotta leave. We can't fight them anymore. We're gonna lose. And we'll mitigate what losses we can.
And do manage to escape. Good TP as well by Nukeduck at the end here to get away. I will say for Patrik, it's a little bit reminiscent of his game versus G2. A couple of misplaced Ezreal E's there. Cost his team a lot here. His positioning in that team fight perhaps not perfect. Obviously a lot of weight on the guy's shoulders. When you're playing the Zeri in a comp like this, you are a primary damage source, a key damage source. And can be very difficult to navigate these fights, and good job by Haru, as you said, to isolate him, but have to keep watching him throughout the course of Summer to see if he can rectify some of those team fighting errors. For the moment, though, Elder Drake off in 9 seconds' time. Baron is up, Vitality setting up around it. Perkz available with the TP.
Yeah, this is it.
It's
you
Senna
look at the damage from Senna right now. I was just identifying that she has the same number of items as Patrik.
140 stacks as well.
She is so strong.
It's a rush.
And Excel are going to force this one. Here we go. Haru over the wall. Does have the blast cone. Excel going to disengage immediately.
TP
they get the TP out. Yep. They're happy with that. Vitality now, if they want to, they have the push in mid. They could just look to rush it. Force a little bit of pressure on the map. Finn, Nukeduck, no TP available. The reset has come through for the Viego.
I do like that from Excel because they didn't have a TP, so if they allowed Alphari anytime pushing out a side lane, then they had to match. It's like, well, we don't have a TP to answer this. So it's going to be very hard for us to ever get an advantageous fight around the Baron. There is, of course, still a TP on Perkz, but he wants to be with his team. Rabadon's death cap complete for him. As you say, 3 items as well on Carzzy, that rapid fire cannon, giving him even more range at 140 stacks. Markoon looking for a stun here. Patrik over the wall, trying to put the damage down. Finn going in as well. Gnar halfway off cooldown. Ultra Shock Laser does a bit. Nukeduck has a Banshees.
Nukeduck on the flank.
There's the Spirit Rush to get away as well. Thankfully, Perkz isn't playing Silas, so that Banshee shouldn't cause too much of an issue for us. Markoon continues to step in.
Carzzy throwing out the roots, not going to connect with anything. The waves are a bit awkward. You can see what looks to be a wave stacking in the bot side of the map for Vitality. Kind of stacking in top lane as well. Excel, they just care about this mid wave though. Next Elder spawns in 2 minutes time. The Baron is up and alive. It's a scary position to be in for both teams. A single misplay could cost you the game. Nukeduck gonna grab this.
He's got TP as well.
Can we have a quick look at the gold medic? I want to see if he has enough for void staff.
Gold diff or just
No, that's the one, yeah. I think you need 1400.
Oh!
Okay, there it is. Yep. Yeah, so the W can crit.
So yeah, if it goes through terrain, it crits, and it has a 130% AD scaling.
Yeah. I expect that to get nerfed soon. So Nukeduck should be very close to his Void Staff now. I expect him to reset, but he might be looking at that blue buff and saying, you know what, I can steal this. Vitality have spotted that has been started, and it's going pretty fast. Nukeduck is still there. The TP has come out. Excel.
TP. Perkz has to find something here, otherwise that TP's burned for naught. The flash in with a dive away. Perkz blocks the stopwatch. Excel, you want to disengage this as Nukeduck now looks for the TP. He's in. A great Gnar pulls them back. Nukeduck looks for the backline, and Carzzy is assassinated by the Duck. Perkz has no stopwatch to stop his death either. Markoon gets out. Vitality get demolished as they look for the engage. But Excel are not willing to lose today.
A flawless team fight from Excel and a massive misplay from Perkz. He tries to make the hero moment happen. He tries to find that 3-man Shurima shuffle, but he falls short. He leaves Vitality exposed, and Excel will make their way to winning this game.
Looking for a 3-1 start to the split. It took them about 2 hours, but in the end, Excel are able to clean it up with a demolition of Vitality.
Whew. It took us a while, but we got there in the end. Excel ending the game on a colossal team fight. The flank from Nukeduck, the stalling from the rest of Excel. But really, that whole fight started because it was Perkz going for the engage.
Yep.
He saw the opportunity to find that three-man shuffle, and he did not find it. Excel immediately pounced on that opportunity.
It was close though.
It was very close.
A matter of a single dash. Perkz looked for it, couldn't quite find it. Obviously, credit to Excel, credit to Patrik as well for how he played that final fight. All of them stepped up once again. A difficult one for Vitality to bear, I'm sure. Excel continued their winning ways though, 3-1 now, sitting near the top of the table. In prime form, tomorrow they play up against Mad Lions as well, another team that looks pretty strong through the start of summer.
I mean, Excel are off to one of the best starts they've ever really had here in the LEC. If they're able to win tomorrow, they'll find themselves, well, only losing to G2.
Yeah, only lost to the undefeated is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start for sure. But yeah, that Mad Lions game will be a big test for both teams. Whew. Of course, that will be happening tomorrow. We still have 3 games of League of Legends. Thank you so much for bearing with us throughout today. Medic and I are going to take a break now. Where you're going to have the wonderful voices of Quickshot, Caedrel,
and Dagger.
Yeah. So you're going to have a try-catch for the rest of the afternoon, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Of course, key player of the game, you can go vote at LEC on Twitter. Markoon, Nukeduck, and Patrik are your options. Very viable options. I'm not going to speculate on who you should vote for. Go ahead, go to Twitter, go vote. We are setting up for an interview on stage right now with Mikyx. But make sure you go onto the social media. And as a reminder, we were beta testing the new overlay in-game. If you have any feedback, jump on over to Discord. We have a feedback channel in there, and you can also tweet at LEC on Twitter as well with any concerns, feedback, positive or negative. We'd love to hear it.
You can also tweet at Vedi. He loves all of those tweets.
Don't tweet the
Vedius
feedback at me.
Is the channel.
If you do come up with some fun truths or lies for me, though, so we can fill for another pause.
Wait, so you're just going to pretend that it's your truth?
Well, that's why. It's either a lie or a truth, isn't it?
I guess
that's the whole point of the game.
We could do like trivia, lies, or truth.
That's the either. In any case, that's the whole point of the game. Are you ready for the interview?
Are you booing us?
Yes, he's booing us.
Where's your guitar, mate? Where are your Birkenstocks, huh? Get the sandals back out.
Let's go here from Mikyx with Trevor on stage. Oh, not yet. Apparently.
Not yet.
I was told.
What was that, Quickshot, huh?
So Quickshot told us he was ready.
But we were told they're not ready for you now.
And then we were told not ready, so you're going to be...
rude.
So now we're in this really awkward situation where we now have to keep talking.
We've been told to hand it over now, but I don't want to anymore.
Let's go listen to Mikyx.
Yeah, Mikyx's important.
I'm so sorry about this, Mikyx. I did train them better, but they've forgotten all of their lessons. These amateurs over here that don't listen to their producers. Berlin, please congratulate Mikyx and Excel once more. Mikyx, that is one of the most dramatic BO1s that we've seen in a while. What emotions are you feeling now after the pause, the remake, after almost throwing that game, but ultimately coming out on top?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like back in the days when we played best of threes. We had like a few breaks in between games. So, you know, initially it felt pretty bad because I felt like the game 1 was like in the bag already. But yeah, something went wrong. So yeah, it happens.
What was the team like backstage? Because obviously the news comes in, Chrono Break's not working, news comes in, you gotta remake the game.
Yeah.
What was it like talking to the support staff, talking to the rest of the squad about the approach to the remake?
Well, we just said, well, we are probably better, so we just go next and like stomp them again, and then, yeah.
Well, it definitely showed though. I like the oohs from Berlin because it was pretty clearly in the advantage of Excel. You guys were in control, you picked up the soul, working towards it. Almost through once or twice. What happened in the late stages where, you know, Vitality managed to pick up Baron, and then I want to get to the Elder Dragon in a moment as well.
Yeah, I guess we kind of forgot about TPs, and we thought we had like a good fight at Raptors because they were like a bit split. But turns out, you know, TPs can like make them be not split. So then we lost Nash from that. But even then we felt like it was still winnable, like after we got Baron. After the Elder, that was like, it was a bit iffy when we got Elder. It was like, okay, maybe we might lose this. But then they actually were playing really scared with it. So they just kind of ran out, and then we won the next fight, and then it was pretty free.
I think I actually have a replay of that Elder Dragon. I'm sorry to bring up the fresh wound, but if we can pull the replay up, talk me through what you're seeing. I think it should be on the screen just in front of you. You can walk forward if you can't see it. Talk me through what's happening and what the comms are.
So basically, me and Nuke are trying to find a flank, and we go on Azir. we get a stopwatch, and then Zeri saying Wukong's on me, and then, oh, I'm one shot. So then that was not very great. So for next team fight, we decided that I should be with Yuumi or with Zeri. So then here, yeah, it's looking a bit rough, and then I go with Viego, and then we're trying to look for a steal, but then we don't have any vision. So we're just like dancing around, and Mark is screaming, give me some vision, give me some vision. And then we wanted to give up here because we couldn't get vision. But then I think Finn somehow got vision on Dragon, so yeah, that we saw with 6
when you're rewatching this now with full vision, are you even more nervous of what it looked like or how bad this could have gone?
It looks a bit disastrous, yeah, but somehow we killed yeah. I think Nuke did a good play here. We killed 2 people, so then the game doesn't automatically end.
I tell you something. I had the pleasure of listening to Mikyx and interviewing him in a long time. I can hear the relief in your voice, right? Knowing how that turned out. I want to go back to something you said a little while ago, that you knew you were the stronger team, or you felt that you were. I think it's very fair to say that the 3-1, the way that Excel have played this summer, is very, very impressive. How far is this roster going to go? Because it was Vitality that eliminated you from playoffs in spring.
I do feel we can go further than last split for sure. I think the Korean bootcamp helped us a lot in terms of how good we are. And yeah, I'm not sure if the other teams are much better. I feel like Astralis got better, but for the rest, I'm not sure. I feel like only G2 is like much better than everyone. I guess Astralis is also picking up some wins, so... Yeah.
A couple of different names, but ultimately G2 still the top dog, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple last questions before we do head over to the analyst desk. During the pause, there were some shenanigans happening on stage. Some fella brought a guitar without an amp. I mean, who does that? What was the team, what was everybody's mood like when you were seeing all of that nonsense happening? Because from our perspective, obviously it was a lot of fun, but from yours, you couldn't hear or see anything.
Yeah, I mean, no, we still had fun in all chat with Vitality guys. We were just like discussing the pause, and yeah, we were like watching the guitar performance. Well, we couldn't hear it, but it looked very fun. But yeah, so some of us were like a bit tilted because, you know, it took a really long time, the whole pause and everything. So we just like wanted to go to bed, but yeah.
Well, listen, you get to go to bed with a win. I have one last thing to say. Do you have a message for the crowd here as well as fans at home? They were cheering and yelling the entire time, so floor's yours.
Yeah, well, thank you for sticking with us through this long best of 3 series we just had. And yeah.
Mikyx, congratulations. 3-1. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to head over to the analyst desk to continue the show.
Thank you very much. Really awesome. And we are back at the desk to discuss how that game went between Excel and Vitality. Super interesting. So let's pull up the draft as well and really get into the nitty-gritty of today. So
yeah, I loved the Kale answer into GP. I think that it just matches the kind of...
Well, hang on. That's not correct. I think we need to... I think we're going to have to chrono break this desk segment because that's
a good idea.
Okay, here we go. That was spotless. that was spotless. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You guys traumatized me a little bit with the chrono shift there.
Really? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We didn't think about that, actually, Finn.
Yeah, that's not cool.
You're still smiling. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. After a day like this, you can only really laugh at it. It's been a really long day, and I feel really bad for the teams that are after us that have had to sit through this. Basically, they just came to the studio ready to play, and now they just waited for 2 hours straight almost.
I think it's really kind that you say that you feel bad for them when you actually were in a very good position in that first game, right?
Yeah.
And then, so what was the discussion like in between the 2 games and then the game that had to be removed?
Well, basically... Well, I mean, some people were a bit frustrated about it, rightfully, but we just have to suck it up, right, and play another game. We adjusted the draft a little bit. I think came out a bit happier with the draft, actually, after the changes, and I think we had a pretty solid showing in the game. We kind of did what we planned to do, and I don't think we let the emotions get the best of us.
That's really good. Although it got really, really close, and I want to run a bit through everything that happened. Let's start maybe with the picks and the bans. Guldborg, I know that you had a keen eye on it, talking about, okay, are there similarities in terms of approach?
I feel like there was no similarities. I feel like Excel found out, okay, actually, I don't want to play the GP myself, and I don't want to use it as a takeaway, so they ban out that themselves. I thought that what was really interesting to me was the fact that they decided to ban the Ezreal themselves, and I feel like that opened up for, you know, the Zeri, Yuumi to come through. They pick it into Tahm Kench as well. Laning phase feels kind of free in that regard because Yuumi loves playing into the Tahm Kench. And something that didn't change either was Markoon and the Viego, which he still had that early prowess on in that early game, and I feel feel like that's just one of the key victories that you guys have on Excel, that he drives the early game forward.
Yeah, no, I think we were quite happy with the draft. I think my team was a bit passive the first game.
Yeah.
We were gonna dive the Kayle, but they got scared, so we flipped out. So I was like, okay, well maybe we shouldn't rely on punishing their Kayle early, and we just like draft a bit more safe. Because the game seemed to be dragging on very long.
So what is the communication for you right here in a situation then where it's about top lane again? It looks like you're getting run down by Alphari.
Well, basically, I was trying to secure the top push for Herald, and Alphari was having none of it. So he was like, I'm gonna kill you. So I started running for my life, and Markoon was thankfully there to save me because, well, it was the Herald we were playing for. So,
yeah, Markoon was there to help save you. Does that hurt?
I'm sorry.
Actually, kind of cheating on me a little. That's true. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I can't even look at him now.
So sorry, man.
You want to switch? Should we switch seats? Are you okay?
No, but Broxah, you know, actually you were in the catering when the pause happened because you just cast so good that the game broke. So
yeah, I mean, like I guess me and Caedrel kind of swapped positions. I took over the casting. He got to sit here, and. Yeah, I actually ended up having a very long break, waiting patiently to watch this game, but it was nice seeing you come out on top. No personal bias,
yeah.
of course.
He was
But,
cheering for
some
you.
good Gnar plays
For
in the
sure.
team fights. I was very proud.
But I do want to take a look at the final fight because Vitality got back in the game, and then it was all up to this, really, Finn. So as we pull it up, talk us through this.
Yeah, so we had like a little dance here. We are pushing bot here deep, as you see, so they're actually kind of pressured to make something happen, or they have to base, respond to our push. Ahri's gonna come and move, we're gonna pressure the Nashor. So they actually have to start a fight here, which I think led to this mistake by Perkz. The pressure to start a fight kind of made him to overreach a little bit and go this deep, and I think we just turned appropriately. I can't speak.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day, yeah. And I think we were able to cleanly close out the fight.
And I'm not just saying this because he's sitting next to me, but I feel like I'm actually going to imagine you're not here, Finn. So I feel like Finn really showed up hugely with the Gnar ultimates as well, coming through. First, the Elder Drake fight, where everything looked lost. If they do not get 2 people and get out from there, where he manages to get 3-man Gnar afterwards, that is completely lost. Then in the second fight afterwards here, in the final team fight, manages to completely... It's not just because you're here. Yeah, okay. So managed actually to get like 3-man stun close to 4-man, but Elite splitting them completely apart. I genuinely feel like it was one of the better Gnar performances we see in the late game, and it's what top laners stream about when they lock it in, but sometimes fail to improve.
I gotta toss the break, but I like that you did. Also, I love that you were here just to say that you missed
Well,
Finn.
I just saw him like smiling, get a big confidence boost.
Oh, the music, the Oscar
happy.
music is rolling in. We gotta take a break, and when we come back, finally we'll have Misfits versus Rogue.
I'm such a third wheel in between.
Bye.
Bye.